what we're going to be doing today, we're going to start the skin tone, okay? Last time I showed you how to do a small area. I didn't have time to finish because time was kind of a crunch time, you know, it was kind of limited. But this time around, we're going to try to block in all the light areas that I'm kind of scrolling through here. I'm going to try to block in all the light areas just with one big color, okay? That's really important that we do that. Last time I didn't do that because we were running short on time and I just wanted to show you something very fast. So I just worked on a smaller area. But today we are going to start working first on making one big color, all right? That's it. So I'm going to stop my screen
Join the
share.
video here.
All right. So I'm just stopping my screen share here. Yeah, go ahead.
For the colors, would a darker red be better or a brighter red, like this one or this one?
For a limited palette, I would use the lighter red, like the cadmium red. Something that's what do you have on there?
I have brilliant red, deep red, and crimson.
Crimson I would use if you were using a full palette, but I would use the first red that you told me, not the deep or not the crimson, okay?
Brilliant?
Brilliant, yeah, because crimson is too purpley and deep is a little too dark. So if you're trying to get light tones, you're gonna have a hard time doing that, okay? The one that I have myself is cadmium light, cadmium red, light hue. So it's a little lighter than a deep because cadmium red also comes in a deep, all right? Any more questions right now? All right, sounds good. If you guys come in a little late, there is the color that we're using on the side. Basically the same color that we've been using for the past few weeks or yeah, I think it's the past week or so. All right, so here we go. Like I discussed with some of the students before you guys all came in, I am gonna not continue to work on this lighter area. I'm gonna try to match my light area that's still empty to the light area that I have here, okay? So today I'm gonna color match. And color match might be very hard or might perceive very hard, but it's actually quite simple. There is the complementary question. Always ask yourself, what is opposite of the color that you need? So don't forget, complementary colors. If you have yellow, if you guys pull out a color wheel, yellow would be violet and vice versa. Green would be red and vice versa. And blue would be orange and vice versa. So whenever I mix a skin tone, if the skin tone is a little too yellow, then I'm gonna need a little bit of grayish purple to desaturate it, okay? Always the color opposite of the color wheel. If your color is too green, it needs red. If your color is too blue, it needs orange. If your color is too orange, it needs blue, okay? Always think of it that way because today I'm starting just brand new because the palette dried from last week. You know, I have all my colors, but I'm starting brand new. So the first thing I'm gonna do is mix myself a gray. I'm gonna keep it as neutral as I can. You know, neutral means not too blue, neutral means not too brown. So I'm just gonna mix myself kind of like a middle of the day gray right here, just nothing to it, okay? All right. So when I see his light tone, the lightest of the midtones is red, but the majority of the light midtones is yellowish green, okay? So what I'm gonna do for that, it's very simple. I'm gonna clean my brush. I'm gonna make yellow over here. I'm gonna add the smallest amount of red. I don't need a lot of red because I need it to be kind of green. If I put too much red, then it's gonna be just tan, okay? And I'm gonna add a ton of white. The color's really light. And I'm adding it on my old palette. Those of you who know the way I paint, I always use my old palette to compare my new colors. Kind of helps me find an understanding for that, okay? That looks okay, you know, the color looks yellowish. It looks a little yellowish tan, but now I'm gonna grab the smallest amount of gray, okay? Oh, a little too much, I could see that already myself. All right, if you guys had yellow ochre, by the way, you didn't have to add the red. So if you guys have yellow ochre, it would be just yellow ochre and gray. because I don't have yellow ochre has a little red to it. Because I don't have yellow ochre, I have cadmium, I have to add a little red, okay? So I'm just gonna color check. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna commit. And the color looks very, very similar to my color of last week. It looks very similar to this one here, all right? Maybe, just maybe it's a tad bit too green. So again, if it's too green, you add the opposite color, you add red, okay? If it's too red, you add green, all right? Pretty simple. And don't forget, the palette, the color on the portrait is so subtle. If you guys grab colors from the middles here, you guys are always gonna go to extremes. So if it needs a little red and you grab the red from here, you guys are gonna add too much red. If it needs a little blue and you guys grab the blue from here, you're gonna add too much blue. You have to be grabbing your red and your blues from the sides, okay? That way your color is not oversaturated. All right, and much better, a little warmer. Might go just a little warmer, okay? And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna just add a little bit of white. I like my color, but I think my value is too dark. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of white. There we go. And I'm also gonna use my color up here, okay? I prefer the color that I made today over the color that I made last week. So, good me, because now I have a brand new color and I could apply it. And to me, it's a better color too. So you guys are gonna see that it has this little green to it. Very little, don't forget, it's mostly white. If we recall the color, it's pretty much just white. And I'm trying to block big sections, okay? Not little things, big sections. All right. All right, here we go. And then once I have this color, I am just gonna go for it. If you guys wanna add a little water, if water's fine, water allows your color to move. All right. I'm gonna leave this red section that I see for the cheek and for the eye just a little underpainted, okay? I'm just gonna let the old red from the first session show through. I know in the first session you guys had the problem of, some of you guys had the problem of too much, in the first session you guys had the problem of too much paint, okay? Make sure that you guys don't mix a lot of colors. You need very little colors. You mostly need white, okay? White is the main thing of today's session. Colors, you guys can mix them on the side here. Like you guys can mix your green color on the side, very little color on the side, and then add it onto the new color. All right, you guys. Here we go. And I'm gonna do the arm. Oh, there's a hair. It's a hair, it's a hair. All right. Remember, when you have time, like we do today, you wanna block big sections. You don't wanna paint like you painted the first day little details. So today we have time, so we block big sections. So I like it, you know, I think it's a fine color. I think it's applied properly, you know, I like everything. So now I'm gonna go a little darker and I'm gonna go a little orange, okay? If you have a brown, by the way, the brown could do the orange for you. It might be a little flat, so it's nice to add the smallest amount of red. So remember, this is darker, okay? I'm not adding any more white. I'm adding it into the color that has the white already, but I'm not adding any more white, okay? Don't forget that. Same color, no change in color. Just add, or sorry, no change to the original color at first. I'm just adding a little bit of brown and red to it, just to make it more orange. And then I'll be able to do some of these more tan colors. this bright orange color is the color that's going to connect the yellow to the old red, okay? The old red from last week. Remember, this is a more orange tone, and it's also going to take the green away from him. He is green, but he shouldn't feel like a tomato. You guys could have a few values. It doesn't just have to be one. And just remember, I mixed it into that same color. All right. Remember, this is just a connection between the old red and the new yellow. That's all this color is. It's a binder. If you don't add this color, you're gonna have a hard time binding the last week's color to this new color. So in simple terms, it has a similar value to the yellow, but it has a closer color to the brown of last week, okay? So it's a light color, but with a more red orange. You're gonna see that color itself is just gonna start doing some good miracles. You know, all of a sudden he's gonna start looking like warmer instead of too green. All right. When I have this color, I'm gonna hold on a second before I move to the pink, which is gonna be the color right before the light. But I want you guys to catch up, okay? And I want you guys to ask any questions if you guys have any questions, all right? So don't forget, I did that more yellow color. That was the first thing that I made. And then I blocked in the big highlight. Then I made this little darker and more orange color, all right? And now I'm just waiting. I'm gonna wait for you guys, all right? So I'm not doing any work. I'm just finding some midtones. If I feel some midtones are missing, I'm always gonna be looking for them. Okay, oh, I forgot some reds on the left side I could see already. So I'm just gonna go back and just redo them. Remember, block in the big yellow. And I think we'll be okay. All right. So if you guys need to catch up, now it's the time. I'm gonna give you guys about 5 minutes just to paint what I've painted. If you guys are just observing and you guys just wanna hang on tight, you guys could definitely do that, okay? I'm just trying to find out what I'm missing, that's all. If you guys are just looking today, you don't have to do much. You wanna just hang on tight before I start doing my highlights. Do you guys have any questions? Those of you who are working, I could answer them now too. Or if you guys are just working and trying to get that palette, it's okay. Just remember, most of what you're doing today is predominantly white, okay? Little color, very, very little color. I have to emphasize that, okay? It's really important that I get that through. Very little color.
Jose?
Yeah.
I was still mixing the color, the one that you're using. Where did you paint it?
Which one, the yellow or the red?
Yellow.
The yellow goes everywhere on the light. It goes everywhere there's a light, except on the twinkle of the nose, this little cheeky area here, the little red on the cheek right here, and I just left a little bit here. But aside from there, it goes pretty much everywhere, okay? Everywhere that it's a light here. The orange color or the more red color, that blends this new green color into the old red color that we did last week, okay? So the new red color just goes like a little strip right here, like a little strip right there, but very, very little, okay? Very little.
Okay.
All right? And the only places that I did not paint on the light side was the tip of the nose and the cheek. That was it, okay? Everything else, I pretty much went. I even went a little bit into the eyes too. Not the black of the eyes, but the white of the eye. The white of the eye shouldn't be that white, all right? I might even go a little bit onto the teeth as well. Maybe this right teeth right here. Okay, and it looks pretty good. All right, you guys. So while you guys catch up, we'll start the 5 minutes now. And I'm here for any questions as well. Here. All right, you guys. So that's pretty good. All right. Now the painting becomes a personal battle. Okay. The painting is no longer too much about big color. We already have a lot of the big color, which you guys, I believe, did a great job if you guys are just blocking in bigger color. So now we're going to focus on the little bits of painting. Okay. This part is going to take time. I don't know how long it's going to take each one of you, but I'm just going to do a little demo of the whole face and neck. And then you guys want to work, okay? Don't work too soon. If you guys start working too soon and you guys are not paying attention to what I'm actually doing, you guys are going to get more lost, all right? So it's better not to work. It's better just to pay attention. And I'm going to repeat. Once I'm done, I'm going to repeat what I did, okay? So my lightest mid-tone before I reach my highlight is actually more red, okay? And it's very cold, and the red is very cold. So I'm going to put a very little amount of red here, and I'm going to put a bulk of white, okay? A ton of white. Make sure your color is really, really white, okay? No, almost no red. If you guys are having a hard time, be careful with your color, okay? Almost no red. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start along the edges here. I overdid my yellow, by the way. And I'm pulling this little pink color over my yellow color. And I overdid my yellow. That way when I started using my red color, I could overuse it a little bit, okay? So don't forget, there is quite a bit of pink in my color. Sorry, there's quite a bit of white in my color here. And it yields this pink color, all right? But here we find things that are not paint by numbers, okay? I find a transition that's a little bit more dark and a little bit more brown. So I'm gonna make a new color that's a little bit more brown. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a darker value on the right side of the cheek here. Just on this cheeky area here. I'm also gonna go over, see now there's a little bit of extra red over here, all right? All right, that looks pretty good. And I'm gonna use this color anywhere else, okay? Anywhere else that I feel I might need this red. I feel I need that red right here. I feel I need a little bit of red over here. But now this next color also needs a bit of yellow. It needs more of an orange tone. So again, here you guys just have to battle. This is where the experience of the other paintings come into play, okay? And this is where I'm telling you that this painting is gonna take a bit of time, okay? It's actually not gonna take a long time for me to explain, and it's not gonna take a lot of time for you guys to grasp. It's gonna take a lot of time for you guys to do, okay? So remember, this is kind of like a tricky part of the painting process, okay? So I'm gonna go lighter here. Now, remember, this is not necessarily finished. but I'm always using the color where I see it before I move on. All right, a little bit on the nose there. Now I'm gonna go back to my light pink over here. I'm gonna go in my highlight right here. The only thing you guys really need to remember at this point is any new colors that you guys make now, they have to be lighter than the old colors because you guys are actually doing the highlights. So if your colors that you're doing now, yeah, go ahead.
Are we using brown? Because I don't have any brown left.
If you don't have any brown, do you have black?
Yes.
All right, Johan. If you have black, your should be fine. If you guys have black, that's actually the Zorn palette that I talked to you guys about last week. That Zorn palette doesn't have any brown, but it does have a black. So just remember that if your color doesn't have the brown, you're gonna have to mix a little tiny bit of orange into your color. Okay. Remember what I told you last week. Brown is actually orange. It's a muddy orange. Okay. So it's not a clean orange, but it's a muddy one. So if you guys didn't have that color, it's fine. All right, so here I'm just finding transitions. Just remember, more orange if you don't have that color, and a little tiny bit of black. Orange and black will just yield a pretty nice looking brown. So remember, if you guys didn't have many colors, as long as you actually just have as long as you guys just have the 3 primaries, you should be fine. You should be able to mix almost anything with the 3 primaries. That's your, oops, that's your main palette. All right, and just finding little lights on the right part of the nose. Then I might just have to go back to darker values here, blend them in. Just don't forget that your light colors are ever so subtle, a tiny bit on the pink side and on the orange side. The eye likes to see that balance between warmth and colds. So if everything is just warm, it feels bored. If everything is just cold, it feels bored. So you guys have to make sure that as you guys mix your colors, you guys begin to balance lights and darks and warms and colds. All right, I think that's pretty good, okay? Basically, it's pretty good before I really go to town with my whites, okay? When I'm saying it's pretty good, it doesn't mean it's finished again. It means that it's a good time for me to start using my other colors here.
So are we gonna finish this painting today?
So yes and no. You guys, I don't think you have enough time to finish this painting today in the class period. It's gonna take too long. That's what I was telling you. This is not a hard step, but it is a time-consuming step. But if you guys work at home, you guys should be able to finish it by working at home. So if you guys understand the concept, and let's say at 7:30 the class is finished and you guys are not done, but you guys understand what you're doing, you should be okay. Okay, I think you could still finish it, but at your leisure. If you guys just want to finish it during class, that's highly unlikely. Okay.
So we're gonna start a new painting next week.
So we're gonna start no more painting. We're gonna start the color series next week. But like I said, it was supposed to be oil painting time, but because I mean, oil painting is a mess to build up at home, and there's a lot of material that you guys might have a hard time to find right now. So we're not going to be doing the oil painting from home, and we're going to kind of go into color. But yeah.
I once did a Starry Night with my sister oil painting, and literally I just made my sister do most of it.
All right. So that's what we don't want to do. You want to make sure that you do
Yeah.
you do most of it. Okay. All right.
I was just like,
So-
oh, what is happening?
Yeah. I used to give those paint night classes for adults, and those were the paintings that they would do. They would do like just like Starry Night, or Starry Night is crazy. Okay. There's a reason why Starry Night is so difficult, is because Van Gogh did not paint all that stuff on purpose. A lot of the stuff is kind of crazy expressive painting. So you cannot copy an expression. So you could follow the expression, you could mimic the expression that he made, but it's very hard to just copy exactly the same thing. So whenever I work with pictures like Starry Night and so forth, I tell my students to really loosen up. I mean, don't think about doing a photocopy of it. Just try to do an understanding, and an understanding is more than enough for like Starry Night or those impressionist pieces, because impressionism is really hard to copy. So if you had a hard time, trust me, it was because they're not meant to be copied. The actual forgers, there's a PBS show called Fake or Fortune. The actual forgers of really famous paintings, they don't forge a famous painting. They forge what they call ghost paintings from an artist that already exists. So like they'll do oh look, in some place in France, in somebody's attic, they found a new Picasso, or they found a new Renoir, anybody, and it's not one that's already pre-registered. So if the artists do a really good job doing it in the style of the artist, people will validate them and actually make them legit. But definitely don't forge. That's a big no-no. All right, you have to get in trouble for that. All right, you guys. So I'm pretty much all done with my warms. I think I did them in a good spot. I think I did them enough. My colors are really subtle. They're really, really gentle. They're really calm. Once I do the warms, I'm going to start going into my highlight, okay? And after my highlight, then it's just pure white, and that's pretty much it for the skin tone. But again, this takes time. This is where you guys are going to battle with it a little bit. So I'm going to go back to that green color that I made earlier. Just a little bit of, yes.
Not for the Coco, but when you said we're doing next time we're doing color pencils / oil pastels.
Yeah.
What are we painting? I mean, what are we drawing and coloring?
So we're going to be doing a little bit of figurative, but we're going to be doing fun figurative. So more in kind of the animation realms of things, not in the realism, because we're going to be talking about classical drawing techniques. So we're going to try to use more fun imagery, not so much, the very realistic one, because it's going to be very hard for me to do realism with many of you guys that are far away. So it's much easier for me to do something that's a little bit more fun, still learning a lot, but not as rigorous as like realism. Okay, you guys could work on realistic projects if you guys want after you guys get some of the techniques, but that is something that you guys want to do on your own time. Okay, as long as you guys understand what I'm showing you in the studio, later on you guys could do a little bit of different work at your leisure. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to work on something too new that might be just a little too complex from the distance. I want to make sure that I work with something that's a little bit more manageable from far. And drawing, because with the adults, I do all the mediums. I do drawing, I do painting, and I do watercolor, or they're all paintings, but watercolor and oil painting. We've noticed that the people that don't come with me with too much questions, because they're just kind of seeing the videos and then just working from home, are the oil painters, but the ones that I could actually help the most are the drafters. We've been noticing that those are the students that if they have any questions, I could approach them a lot easier. I could help them a lot easier. But for oil painting and watercolor, it's a lot harder. So we want to do a medium that we could help you guys pretty good from home. Okay. All right, you guys. So this, I'm just doing a extremely light green. Okay. That's all I'm doing for these light tones. Extremely light green. All right. Very much pretty much just white and a little tiny bit of green to it. All right. And once I have that, I'm just gonna go in here with pure white, okay? And chunky paint, don't forget, pure white has to be chunky paint. So I'm gonna start it where it's the lightest, which is this corner here. I'm gonna start it just a little dot right here. And then I'm gonna scumble or work your color out. The fact that this paint is thick makes it look like a lighter highlight, okay? Thick paint, which in painting is called impastos, usually look like a lighter highlight. And lighter highlights are pretty good because we need to make them look like they're real. We gotta make them look like they come from the sun or whatever light source is hitting it. If you want the white to be light, but you don't want it to be too light, like for example, in the lips, I want it light, but I don't need it to be that light. I'm not gonna make it chunky. I'm not gonna make it impasto. I'm gonna make it thin. And you guys could Google any of the terminology that you guys want, but classically impastos or thick paint is made for highlights, okay? Because it makes a sculpture. Instead of making a painting, you guys actually now have a three-dimensional sculpture, something that looks like it has more volume to it, okay? But don't forget, not all the highlights need to be impastos. Some of the highlights could just be like this one here. It's still just pure white. But if you look at the one on the left side versus the one on the right side, the one on the right side looks, this one here looks lightest just because it's thick, okay? Thick paint. Thick paint. And I think I'm pretty happy with the skin tone, okay? I'm actually, I think I've reached a happy medium with my skin tone. I'm missing quite a bit of color on this side, but that's just missing. It's not that it's bad or anything. It's just that I don't have it. The left side felt underpainted, while the right side looked like it had a lot of nice things. The left side did feel a little underpainted. So I'm just gonna add a bit more color here. And don't forget, if you need to transition into the dark colors, just make an orange again. A little darker orange, and that will help you transition into the dark values. So like right here, this thing looks too obvious. I'm just gonna add an orange to transition into my shadow. All right, and anything that's missing, like, oh, he's missing his eyelid, okay? What can we do? We can make ourselves a black again, just blue and brown. This is just little work, you guys. You already did the hard, big work. If you guys don't change anything dramatically, you're gonna be in the best spot ever. If you guys start changing, like, oh, I'm gonna change the eye here, I'm gonna change the this here, I'm gonna change the that there, then you guys might end up in a bit of trouble. okay? So I'm just adding a few darks here and there. That's gonna be it for a second while I let you guys catch up. But yeah, go ahead, you guys. Start working a little bit on this part. I might not have you finish it because I want to show you how to do everything. And if you guys start finishing like little things, it might take too long. But just go ahead and work on an area like the nose or the cheek. And let me see that in a few minutes. I'll be back, you guys. I got to use the restroom really quickly, like two minutes. I should be right back. But just kind of free work right now. And we'll get going in a few seconds, okay? So free work for about 2-3 minutes. I'm just gonna use the restroom real quickly, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. If you guys have any pictures to show me, you could do that right now. If you guys are still working on something, like I said, I want to see what you guys are working on in the next 2 minutes or so, 3 minutes. And then I could show you just how to wrap up the rest of the painting, and you guys could work during the week, show me what you guys came up with, and we could critique it also next week, okay? So if you guys want to show anything, you guys could put it on the screen. If you guys are shy right now, you guys don't have to do that. All right, so here we go. You guys have fun. Again, this thing just takes time, all right? If you guys were in the studio, I'd probably be letting you guys work more than what I would be talking. But because I know we have the pre-recorded Zoom videos, you guys could also see them later to catch up, okay? So the skin tone looks great. I mean, my skin tone, I'm pretty happy with it. Compared and contrast to the one in the reference, it's pretty good, pretty similar. So I don't have to do too much to it. Or if I do anything to it, I'm gonna do something later on, okay? Not right now. I think I'm happy. I'm through. You know, later on I could decide like, oh, you know, this area did not turn out too light, So I might just make it a little lighter, or this area here did not turn out too light. I could just make it a little lighter, but that's for later, okay? Now I'm gonna start working on the eyes, which need quite a bit of work, the nostril, the teeth, and the hair, all right? This should be pretty fun, and I'm gonna do 2 eyes. So if you guys don't get it the first time, you guys should get it the second time, okay? So don't forget, 2 eyes, you guys have 2 tries, all right? So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the color of the eye, okay? When I see his eye, they are brown. So I'm gonna mix my own brown if you guys don't have any, or I'm gonna make my brown a little bit more orange now. All right. And I'm gonna color the bottom left side of my eye. All right, this is important. This part to me is probably the most important part that we need to understand. Okay, let's discuss why. The eye itself, the retina itself is a funnel, okay? It's like a inside of a funnel, or the inside of a cone, you could say. Not the outside of a cone, the inside of a cone. The little membrane of the eye, the little kind of outer shell of the eye, is a circle. So if you guys look, the highlight itself comes from the far right, okay? So the highlight itself is right here. The little twinkle is right here. But because this black area here, this dark area, is actually an inverted funnel, the dark area is, the light area is actually opposite of the twinkle over here. So if your twinkle is here, the inside of your eye that's lighter would be here. If your twinkle is on the top left, it would be on the bottom right. If your twinkle is in the middle, it would be in the bottom, okay? That's why I'm making all my bottom lefts a little bit lighter, okay? Just a little warmer. And that makes a huge, huge, huge deal when you guys are working realistic. It also makes a big deal if you guys decide to become animators, because you guys are going to have to be working more with information. If you guys like to do those anime, like the Naruto or any of those animes, you guys could definitely apply the same theory, okay? So now I'm making a little bit more of a darker brown, and I'm going to color this here. I'm basically just doing a little transition with a darker brown. Same places, just a little less. And now that leaves me in a phenomenal place to do my black. Okay, so I did my darks here. I did my dark browns here, my dark browns there. Now, I might use a little bit of reds. I like the red color that I made. So I might just use a little bit of that red color just in the corner shadows here. And the other nice thing too is that the more that you guys use this color, then the darker colors, the very, very deep saturated colors, the more light your skin tone is going to look. Because right now, your skin tone is not compared to black. It's compared to different grays. But if you guys start doing some blacks, then all of a sudden the skin tone is going to start perceiving lighter. All right, I'm going to use it on my nostrils too. Just right there. All right. Now I'm going to make my black. Okay. If you guys have black, you guys don't have to do anything. Okay, you guys just add black. If you guys are fancy and you guys want to do like the classical crazy way of doing things, the grade way, I'm gonna make my first black using blue and brown. That's gently on the blue side. Okay, so I'm gonna make 2 blacks, one very dark gray and one really black. Okay, so with the first one, I'm gonna draw anything that's really dark. Basically fix my drawing with this color. Use it for the pupil. Okay. That circle, remember the pupil is a circle. You guys want to make a nice little circle, and my color is a little bit on the blue side, okay? Just ever so gently, a little bit on the blue side. It's just a little too much. Right there. All right, and once I do my blue black, my darkest black is gonna be a purple, okay? That's basically your darkest dark is a magenta. If you ever try to print out something that's true black on your computer will actually shoot magenta to the darkest color. So what we're gonna try to do right now is just a purple, and that is gonna give me my blackest black, okay? So I have a lot of good stuff. I like what I'm doing. I kind of like where everything is going. Now I'm gonna make a purple over here. Still into the same color. So when you see this on your palette, if you're mixing it over white, it just looks purple, okay? That's all it looks like. But when you mix it over black, it looks like blacker black, or more black black. All right, so there goes my purple, blue and red, a little bit on the blue side. And I'm gonna try to go extremely dark and don't go watery at all, okay? If you guys go watery, your color's gonna go thin. And if it's thin, it's not gonna have presence. If you guys have a smaller brush, use your smaller brush. Okay, remember, smaller brush. No, I'm gonna use my smaller brush here. I'm gonna clean it very well because I don't wanna have any white on there. If the purple shows because it has white, then it's just purple, all right? So we don't wanna see a purple, we wanna see a dark black. So now, there we go. Just gonna add red and blue and darken the pupil. Darken the other pupil. Darken the top eyelid just a little bit. Darken the iris just a little bit. You guys should be able to see a little bit of a black, more black with this color now. Darken this pupil over here. See, but be careful. I accidentally pushed my purple into my white, and you could actually see that the color is purple. But if it's purple over the black, your eye cannot register that it's actually purple. It just sees something that's extremely black.
Jose, you keep breaking up, so I can't really hear you.
Okay. So let me just let me know if you could hear me better. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk without painting anymore. So the middle color that we made is a bluish gray, so it had both blue and brown, but it was just a little bit on the blue side. Okay, my darkest color, the one that I'm using very selectively, just for the pupil, just for the iris, just for the eyelid, that one is actually purple. All right, it's a reddish purple, and a purple looks like a more black color than actual blue and brown. All right, so the blue and brown one, you guys could use a little looser, a little bit more, but whenever you guys make the more purple color, you guys have to only use it very selectively. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And that's it, you guys. I mean, the picture will tell you. I could draw it here on my palette. Everything that I made with my brown, with my bluish black is this. Okay? This is everything I made with my bluish black color. Okay? And everything I made with my purple color, obviously inside of there, but I'm not gonna do it inside of there, is just a little tiny touches on the top eyelid, and just the whole pupil itself, that circle, and just little tiny touches for the iris. That's it, okay? So you could see I did a lot more with a bluish brown than I did with my purple, okay? I'm just trying to show you what I did over here because it might be hard to see. So I want you guys to visualize it here and then just do it for the eyes, okay? And after that, you guys are pretty much gonna be almost done with the eyes. I am gonna add a little bit of a lighter brown, just right in this bottom left corner right here. Okay. But these are just little bit of touches here. I don't think I'm breaking up. I think I know what happened. My daughter has a jiu-jitsu class and it's about to end right now. And her room, because she's also doing the online classes, her room is right above my studio. So I think it was her that was making all the banging, and it wasn't allowing the actual audio to sync very well. I
Jose,
think that's what it was. Yeah.
for some reason you're still breaking up.
Okay, then it's not her because she's done. All
On
right,
their
it might be something else. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe it's just on my side.
Okay. Yeah, if everybody lets me know if it's me, it might be me. So I don't know. All right. And then that's pretty good. What I'm going to do now is on the right side of the circles, I am just going to make pure white, but a very thin pure white. Okay, remember, it's not thick. It's the thin one. All right. And for my highlight now, I'm going to grab the chunky one. So for my highlight, I'm going to grab the thick paint and do the chunky one. So remember, the first one was the very thin one. The second one was the chunky one. And now you're fooling the eye that there's like a really bright twinkle somewhere there. So he's coming alive, you know, he's coming, his values are working nice. And that's it for the eyes. For the teeth, it's kind of the same thing. The only thing the teeth need a thin white here, just for the right-hand corner. Oops, sorry. All right. So the teeth need just a white color. I'm going to grab it from here. Really chunky. And I'm just going to do a little twinkle on the right and a twinkle on the right. So remember, he has two teeth, so both teeth need to have their own right side to be twinkled. But on the right teeth, I'm actually going to do a chunky paint. Chunky paint. There you go. So now he has a twinkle. All right. If anyone is working on the eyes, go ahead and continue to work. The two types of black that I like to do is first one that's just blue and brown. That's the lightest brown. And then the darkest black is blue and red, so it's a purple, okay? I like to do a reddish purple. For whites, I like to do a thin white, just one that's not chunky, which is just a low light that we call. And then I like to do my lightest highlight, that really bright twinkle and bright highlight. I like to do that with chunky paint, so that's called an impasto, okay? The same way there are two darks, I have two lights. When are you guys done with your school? Almost? You guys don't know?
For us, there's like 4 more weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our school ends on June 12th.
Did you guys have a chance to do like state testing, or is that not going to happen this year?
It's not happening this year.
I mean, we did placement testing for like 6th and 5th grade, but no CAS. And
I am so lucky. My school, 3rd grade is the year you start CAS, right? But this year we don't have to do it.
Yeah, same.
My AP students, they got pretty lucky too. Well, I mean, it's not lucky because it's not a good situation either, but my AP students, they like their portfolios got reduced by 1/3 on everything. They have to do 1/3 of the work. So before it was 15 pieces that we had to make, now it's 10. And then it had to be, they had to submit they had to submit how many 5 pieces. Now they only have to submit 3. So everything on their end got chopped by roughly 1/3.
So far, I've never had to ever do CASP in my life.
Our school ends at on July 5th.
Oh, that's pretty late.
Luckily, it's not late enough for my birthday.
I mean June, sorry.
Yeah, my daughter, she's from like November, so sorry, she's from August. Like she's from the 14th of August. So we always, because her friends are not back to school till like the next week, we always try to do her birthday like the week after. So her friends could go to her birthday party. But this year, I don't even think their friends could go to her birthday party.
For me, we never put my birthday party on the actual date. On the actual date, no one bothers me. I watch TV and we go out for dinner. That's like what
That's
we do
cool.
for every single birthday. Like not even
Same
only me,
here.
just, and then like a week later we do our
That's really cool because sometimes birthdays get to be quite stressful.
yeah. Me and Sanjana are the same age for like 2 weeks in our, so it's nice.
All right.
Starts on my birthday.
Do you guys get to hang out for your birthdays, you two?
We're gonna try, like, bro, even if there is the coronavirus still, there's no way I'm not gonna go meet Sanjana.
You guys are just gonna have to do like that social distancing, like you know, have a party from like 6 feet away or whatever.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. So sorry about that. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rush through this thing because it's gonna take me a bit of time and it's gonna take you guys a bit of time too, okay? But I'm just gonna go like a flash and I think we're gonna be pretty much done with the big picture. I myself, I'm not even gonna have time to finish. So you guys might not even have time to finish like even more, but I just wanna show you guys how to do small fragments of things. That way, whenever you guys, the video's over, it's uploaded, you guys could actually see how to do every little thing. And if you guys want to work from home, you guys could definitely do that solo. Like if you guys want to work from home solo. So for here, I'm going to use my ugly brush. Okay, that's what my ugly brush. I always claim that I really like this brush here. So I'm going to use this ugly looking brush. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let my brush do my hair for me, okay? I'm going to let my brush do my backgrounds for me. I'm going to let my brush do a lot of stuff, right? So I added some new brown because I was running out of brown. I'm going to make a bluish brown again. But in this time, the bluish brown is actually my darkest color. My purplish brown is going to be my lightest color, okay? So here I'm going to have a bluish black here, okay? I'm going to start pushing my blue color over my hair. And remember, right now it looks blue, but in a second you guys are going to stop losing that blue. So the nice thing of this ugly brush that I use, it makes hair for me. I don't have to make hair, okay? It does it for me. I just work really thin with it. And the ugly brush strokes of this brush itself, look at that. It just gives me individual strands of hair. All right, so let the ugliness of the brush help you. If you guys forgot to wash a brush, don't throw it away. Remember, that's gonna be your hairbrush from now on, okay? But don't throw away any brushes if you guys forgot to use, to clean them, sorry. All right, so I'm just doing dark stuff here. So So now my old color doesn't look that dark. My old color now looks like a transition. All right. That looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna make a more brownish black, but I'm also gonna add a small amount of red. So don't forget this one, because it has more brown than purple, it's actually gonna look lighter, okay? So even though we use purple as our darkest color on the eyes, this time it's not really purple, it's more brown. And that's the color that's transitioning into my light. And all the strands, sorry, they're made with my ugly brush. I have to emphasize that because I got to repeat that over and over again. I'm not trying very hard to do hair. I'm letting the tools at my disposal do the hair for me. Okay. And if I have to make a cool highlight now, I add a little bit more blue again, start adding some white to it. So still mix into the gray. I don't want a pure blue. That's going to be way too tough on the picture. So it's still mixed with my gray. And now I'm going to do the lighter tone right about there. And if I need to make this a little lighter, there's two ways to making it lighter. My favorite is to actually still subtract some of these blue away, or just add a tad bit more white and just make the color a little lighter. Okay, that's it for the hair, right? You guys could have a good time with the hair, you know, spend more time than what I spend, find more hairs, you know, find more variations in your hairs, do all that good stuff. Like for example, here, I think I have too many highlights, so I'm gonna cut them in with a few blacks. Okay. But this is gonna take time. More importantly, this is gonna be slowly but surely, all right? That's good, everything looks done. Now, I'm gonna make myself another gray, and I'm gonna start working on the background. So reddish gray, right here. Little purple. I'm just making a mess. That's a trick of painting. Make a mess. It's a trick of realistic painting. The bigger the mess, the realer it looks. The more real it looks. All right. I'm just making muddy colors. So what I'm doing now is just making a range of muddy colors. So I like my color. I just don't like my value. It's too dark. So I'm gonna add a lot more white to it. And just making different types of gray. I'm gonna start painting. And what I'm doing here, there's a technique, by the way. This technique is called scumbling. Scumbling is moving your brush in a little C shape, like a little C semicircle, or a little X shape, okay? That one is called scumbling, all right? That was made by good old Leonardo da Vinci. Impastos was really used really nicely by Rembrandt, but Da Vinci did like a lot of these other ones. You know, he didn't have many paintings. He only had a few. I'm gonna add more yellow. I think he had like a total of like 8 paintings only. Gonna add a little yellow to my gray. And you guys could spend more time than me. I'm doing a good job, but I'm not doing a great job because I'm kind of speeding my process up because I want to get through as many things as I can just for you guys to do as much work as you want whenever I'm not like in the actual video. So semicircles, excess, semicircles, excess. If you don't have a true ugly brush, this will help you make a true ugly brush. Okay, and you guys want to go in there and fill in the entire background. Again, I started with a grayish purple, but then I made a more yellow one. I made a more red one. I made a more white one, but the foundation is a purple. From there, you guys could change that around, okay? So you guys could go and finish the background. That's gonna take a few more minutes, okay? That's the same thing that you guys have to do to his shirt. You guys just have to do a little bluish gray. Just a little bluish gray. Do a little darker value. Yeah, I'm rushing because I want you guys to understand. But the cool thing is that you have technology, and then later on you could just Google it at home. Okay, so once I have my shadows, I'm gonna go into my lights. And make sure if you guys, I ran out of white. If you guys need any help during the week, you guys can email me, Google Classroom me. I could later just show you how to work the techniques. So I'm gonna make a lighter gray. All right. Maybe if you guys had a darker gray, just do a little lines here and there. Or at least a little implied lines. All right, and we got a few more minutes for the guitar, and then I'll take any questions. And obviously, don't rush, you guys. I'm just going fast just to show you. So for the guitar, the only thing we have to do is work a darker brown first, and just look for the darker, deeper colors first. And I'm not gonna make it ever a black. I'm always gonna start with a darker brown. And always start this dark brown next to your lights, okay? So I'm gonna start it here, and I'm gonna start it here. And then we could work it away with a little bit more lighter browns. So this is gonna start giving us the brightness and the 3-dimension that we need. Real quickly, I'm gonna start adding some of this ugly gray. I like this gray. I wanna make sure that I use this gray to start doing some of these transitions.
Jose?
We cannot have the guitar be too nice. So we cannot use only bright oranges and reds, because that's gonna give us like a brand new guitar. His guitar is all beat up, okay? If you guys look at the picture, yeah.
The background color, the new background color, mine is like a dark violet. How do I make it
White. You're just missing white. So again, I think, Johan, you're gonna have the same problem that you had like 2 weeks ago. If you try to add white into that color, you're gonna waste all of your white, your big tube or whatever you guys have. If your color is way too dark, just mix white into a small part of it. So like, let's say this was your purple here, okay? Don't pull the white into the entire purple because it's never gonna change. Push it only to a corner, just like this. And you're gonna be more efficient with the way you use your color, okay? But yes, basically what it sounds is you're missing white, and then after that, it really depends on the color, because remember, I made a purple, but that purple that I made had variations. Sometimes it was more blue, sometimes it was more red, sometimes it was more yellow, but overall, it's just a purple, okay? But you could have variations to it. So now I'm gonna add some more brownish grays. Remember, ugly guitar, brownish grays here. And I'm gonna do the tape, but I'm not gonna do the tape this week. If I do that this week, I'm just gonna end up confusing you guys. So I'm just gonna do the wood, okay? All right. So my darker stem or the neck, this is called the neck in the guitar. That's called the head, that's called the body. Do you guys play the guitar? Any of you? No? I used to play it a lot. I played guitar and trumpet.
I suck at all musical instruments.
Hmm?
I suck at all musical instruments.
Yeah, I was always better at arts.
If you ask me to play, it'll sound like a baby screaming.
Nice, modern work. Contemporary music. All right, you guys, and I'm just adding some grays into my browns here. And just take your time, okay? So remember, I'm not done with my background. I'm not done with my guitar. I am kind of done with my hair. I think I'm pretty happy with my hair. This part here is just gonna take time. It's not gonna be hard. I just have to add different types of purples into this part. I have to add different types of darker browns into this part, and then nice, clean browns into the highlights, onto the highlights. I'm gonna go more with browns and yellows, and oranges, okay? So into these colors here, I'm gonna add just pure browns followed by really nice yellow oranges. Just right here, just gonna add a little transition of a yellow orange. But that's all I'm doing. I don't want to do any more at this point because I'm just gonna be rushing, and rushing is not good, all right? But if you guys have time, you guys understand the concept, you guys could do this slowly from home, all right? So if you guys finished the background today, that's it, you guys. I'm happy with that, all right? Shoot me some of the photos of your work. Let me see how the portrait is turning out. One of my students sent me a picture of their work last week. She actually had a great picture. She actually had a great painting on the second photo. On the first photo, I made so many corrections, and then she told me, oh, it's because the photo was taken sideways. I'm like, what? You know, you should have told me that, because then I didn't have to do all these corrections. And when she sent me the second photo, it was well squared and well done. So don't forget, take a good photo if you guys are going to show me what you guys are going to be doing. All right. Well, that's it, you guys. I'm gonna do a little bit of work on this during the week. Just kind of wrap it up, finish it up. I am gonna leave the tape on the guitar for next week though, because I do want to help you with that. And then after that, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna be able to help you. You guys could let me know during the week as well. And yeah, so we'll go from there. And yeah, have fun, enjoy. If you get lost, let me know. Okay.